In 1462, Vlad Dracula triumphantly returns from his campaign against the Ottoman Empire, only to discover that his beloved wife, Elisa Beta, has taken her own life after being deceived by false reports of his death. A Romanian Orthodox priest declares that Elisa Beta's soul is condemned to hell for her suicide. Overcome with rage and grief, Vlad desecrates the chapel, renouncing God and vowing to rise from the grave to exact vengeance for Elisa Beta with the powers of darkness. In a final act of defiance, he drives his sword into the chapel's stone cross, unleashing a flow of blood, which he drinks, sealing his transformation into a vampire. In 1897, solicitor Jonathan Harker inherits Count Dracula as a client from his colleague, R.M. Renfield, who has descended into madness and is now confined to Dr. Jack Seward's asylum. Jonathan travels to Dracula's castle in Transylvania to finalize the Count's real estate purchases in London. Upon arriving, Jonathan meets Dracula, who becomes captivated by a photograph of Jonathan's fiancée, Mina Murray, believing her to be the reincarnation of his long-lost love, Elisa Beta. Dracula imprisons Jonathan, leaving him at the mercy of his vampiric brides, while he departs for England with crates of Transylvanian soil, taking up residence at Carfax Abbey. In London, Dracula hypnotically seduces and bites Lucy Westenra, Mina Murray's closest friend, while Mina stays with her during Jonathan's absence in Transylvania. Lucy's worsening health and strange behavior alarm her fiancé, Arthur Holmwood, as well as her former suitors, Quincy Morris and Dr. Jack Seward. They seek help from Dr. Abraham Van Helsing, Seward's mentor, who quickly identifies Lucy as the victim of a vampire. Meanwhile, Dracula, now appearing youthful and charming in the daylight, meets and captivates Mina. She grows increasingly drawn to him, joining him on various outings. When Mina learns that Jonathan has escaped Dracula's castle and is recovering in a convent, she travels to Romania to reunite with him, where they marry. Devastated by Mina's departure, Dracula transforms Lucy into a vampire. The next night, Van Helsing, Holmwood, Seward, and Morris confront the undead Lucy and destroy her, putting her to rest. After Mina and Jonathan return to London, Jonathan and Van Helsing lead the group to Carfax Abbey, where they destroy Dracula's crates of Transylvanian soil. Enraged, Dracula infiltrates the asylum and kills Renfield for warning Mina about his presence. He then visits Mina, who is staying in Seward's quarters, and confesses to murdering Lucy and tormenting her friends. Though initially furious, Mina admits she still loves him and recalls memories of her past life as Elisabetta. At her insistence, Dracula begins transforming her into a vampire. The hunters burst into the room, but Dracula declares Mina as his bride before fleeing. As Mina's transformation progresses, Van Helsing hypnotizes her and uses her connection to Dracula to learn he is sailing back to Transylvania in his final remaining crate of soil. The hunters race to intercept him, traveling to Varna. However, Dracula reads Mina's thoughts and evades their pursuit. Forced to split up, Van Helsing and Mina head to the Borgo Pass and Dracula's castle, while the others attempt to stop the convoy transporting the Count. At night, Van Helsing and Mina are confronted by Dracula's brides near the castle. The brides chant seductively, drawing Mina under their spell. She attempts to seduce Van Helsing and nearly feeds on his blood, but he presses a communion wafer to her forehead, leaving a sacred mark that halts her transformation. To protect them, Van Helsing encircles them with a ring of fire, keeping the brides at bay. The following morning, he kills the brides. Meanwhile, Dracula's carriage approaches the castle, pursued by the hunters. A violent clash erupts between the hunters and Dracula's guards. During the battle, Quincy Morris is mortally wounded, stabbed in the back. As the sun sets, Dracula emerges from his coffin. Jonathan strikes first, slashing Dracula's throat with a knife, and Morris delivers a fatal stab to his heart. Gravely injured, Dracula retreats with Mina, who defends him from the hunters. Van Helsing and Jonathan allow Mina to take Dracula into the castle, understanding her connection to him. Morris succumbs to his wounds, dying in the arms of Seward. In the chapel where he once renounced God, Dracula lies mortally wounded. As the candles flicker to life and the shattered cross miraculously restores itself, he reverts to his youthful form. Mina wraps her arms around him and they share one last gentle kiss. With tears in her eyes, Mina grants his request for peace, driving the knife through his heart. As Dracula dies, the mark on Mina's forehead vanishes, freeing her from his curse. In a final act of release, she decapitates him. Looking upward, Mina sees a fresco of Vlad and Elisa Beta, their souls ascending to heaven, finally reunited in eternal peace.